Welcome to Your Good News. Happy stories only, stories that will make you smile or maybe even inspire you to do great things. If you're looking for anything else, guess what? You're not going to find it here. Well, if you are looking for something to do this month, why not head over to the Orpheum Theater to catch Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. The 6-time Tony Award-winning play's arrival in Minneapolis is a full circle moment for the actor who plays the title character. Here's Heidi Wigdell.
In the wizarding world of Harry Potter, at Hogwarts, there are 4 houses. But for the actor who plays the title character, Minnesota will always be home.
It's everything I wanted to tell this company of actors that we would have here. It's been that and more.
Nick Dillenberg plays Harry Potter as an adult in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. The story picks up 19 years after the Battle of Hogwarts with the next generation. An unlikely friendship forms between Harry's son and Draco Malfoy's.
Magic is the language of this world.
And they've brought that magic to the stage.
I think the coolest part about it is it's Victorian era magic. This is old school stuff, and you'll see one of those tricks within the first 60 seconds of the play.
Nick originally auditioned for the role 2 years ago and didn't get it.
But then 11 months later, I got offered the second year of the tour out of nowhere. And the first thing I checked, by the way, was, does it come to Minneapolis? It came to Chicago in the first year, but it was coming to Minneapolis this year, which is a really special treat for me because my mom hasn't seen me on stage since high school. So 2001, yeah.
Nick grew up in Northeast Minneapolis and went to St. Anthony Village High School.
I was a sports guy, and one day I was sort of dragged to auditions for a play called Arsenic and Old Lace. I got football, I don't have any time for this. She said, okay, sure, no problem, we won't. The next day I got cast.
Nick became spellbound by the theater. Now at home, his mom saw him on stage.
Yeah, she came this past Sunday. I was an emotional mess. You know, when I'm talking about my mother who gave her life for Harry, I say, you know, this really incredible thing that my mother was able to do for me. It can't not hit on both levels. It's happening for Harry and Nick simultaneously.
While there's plenty to leave the audience in awe, the charm lies in the magic of those you consider home.
I'm just so excited to be able to share it with this city. I'm so honored.
Heidi Wigdall, KARE 11 News.
Well, if you want to get tickets, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child runs through May 17th, so you are running out of time. A South Minneapolis favorite is back in full bloom. The iconic Tulip House is once again turning heads thanks to a new owner keeping the tradition alive. Jessica Hart has that story.
On a gray day,
after a long work week, it's nice to come and enjoy some flowers.
patches of color flip the mood.
It was cool to pull up and then see all the bright colors, which is awesome.
Brooke Rose drove from Eden Prairie
I've never been here, it's my first time.
and doesn't mind there's not a rose in sight.
Definitely brightens up the day.
Rather rows of tulips
They know my house is a tulip house.
planted by Patty Pleward. With neighbors and family there to help.
One bulb at a time. Oh my gosh. I didn't know there was a tulip house until I started looking at buying this place. So it's all new to me.
Last June, the previous owner passed away. In October, Patty closed on the house.
I thought it was a beautiful thing.
A beautiful thing she wanted to nurture.
Yeah, but it's been a journey.
A journey that brings people together on the cloudiest
Thanks for doing this. It's great.
and sunniest of days.
Oh, it's beautiful. Just beautiful.
So many stories. People having a bad day and they come and it changes. Like, thank you so much. This is just what I needed.
A beautiful thing that sprouted across the neighborhood.
As a neighborhood, they decided together that they would like to keep it going.
The start of a new blossoming tradition to brighten people's day, one patch at a time.
When you look at everybody, most of the time what you see is just a bunch of smiles. So how can you not just be touched?
In Minneapolis, Jessica Hart, KARE 11 News.
Well, if you'd like to walk up and smell the tulips, the owners say you are welcome to come visit. The Tulip House is on West 25th and Humboldt Avenue South. That is right by Lake of the Isles. You can't miss the colorful corner. Well, the Veterans Legacy Memorial is an online database of those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. All 10 million profiles have basic information provided by the VA, like names and branches of service. However, less than 1% of those pages feature anything personal, like obituaries, anecdotes, or pictures. But now, the profiles of 2 Minnesota Marines are more complete. As Audrey Russo explains, it's all thanks to Wisconsin High School.
Preserving history starts with names, etched in stone.
It's a really hard map to read.
Pick any name from Fort Snelling National Cemetery.
It's especially hard when you crumple it up.
And you'll find a story worth retelling.
Oh, is it on this one? Wait.
This generation.
Where is he? He's right here.
Face to face with the greatest generation.
Yeah. We found it.
But this is far from their first meeting.
It's a good 100 pages almost.
Daniel Hansen and Brody Allround, students in St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin, have spent months
September, October.
researching and documenting the lives of 2 World War II Marines.
His name was Harlan Roosevelt.
Mine was Bill Benowitz.
And here is all of Harlan's life story.
The group effort with friends,
Literally everything from his life.
guided by their teacher,
I see you.
Marley Hayes.
I see you. And all of these guys have taken my World War II class. And once we started it, then they really bought into the entire process.
The entire process meant boiling down years on the battlefield and decades on the home front once the war was over.
Because I think when they think of World War II, they think of like the big bangs and the big Hollywood stuff. It's not that.
Highlighting humility is an easy lesson to learn
We're all so similar.
for kids growing up in a town
They weren't Medal of Honor winners, but
of 2,000.
the impact they had is still huge. Even though we're small town kids that aren't going to be like necessarily famous and everybody's going to know our names, we can still do something to help make the world a better place.
A humble place to begin.
Life for Harlan Roosevelt was not easy, but he was never one to shy away from a challenge or make excuses.
Sharing Harlan and Bill's stories to an audience
They're going to go over and
eager
see
for another retelling.
my dad's grave. For the guns! Who's that?
William Bill Benowitz always wanted to fly. Like many boys of his generation, he found adventure and purpose in the pages of books.
And it's really touching.
You know, Marley and her class probably know a lot more about my dad than I do.
This generation, face to face with the greatest lesson.
You know, it was 80 years ago, and it seems like a lifetime away from them.
A lesson learned
We do really appreciate the family does.
by keeping history alive.
It's an honor to be.
Audrey Russo,
Now I think they get it.
KARE 11 News.
What great kiddos. Well, it is National Teacher Appreciation Week, a time to celebrate and honor the educators in our lives. And one teacher in St. Louis Park is getting top honors. He was just named the 2026 Minnesota Teacher of the Year. Here's Heidi Wigdell.
At Park Spanish Immersion Elementary School in St. Louis Park, gratitude can be felt from one side of the school to the other.
The music class is on the other side of the building, so it's a bit of a walk.
David Davis is feeling the love.
Congratulations. Thank you, thank you.
As Minnesota Teacher of the Year.
Think about which emotion you might touch today.
For Senor Davis, it's excitement.
Come on in.
But every kid gets to tap in to how they're feeling.
Thank you so much.
One of the many ways Senor Davis beats to his own drum. Steady work, now being celebrated.
Well deserved.
From the principal
I really like when he teaches us really new notes.
to the kids.
I'm happy for him.
Raise your hand if you'd like to come up and be the teacher that plays the teacher rhythm.
To celebrate, 2 first grade classes are creating music.
Music helps people learn language, and language helps people learn music.
Davis starts every school year with kindergartners choosing a song meaningful to them.
All right, I think that's the majority. I invite that kindergartner up to co-teach alongside me. I really just want to share that message that they come into the class already with musical brilliance, and they're teaching all of us inherently is reflecting them and their culture when they're the ones teaching about the Brazilian lullaby that their mom taught them or their favorite Led Zeppelin song.
4th graders interview a local elder, then compose for them an original song.
The kids say, "This is everything we learned about you. Can we gift you the song we created?" Never a dry eye in the house. It's so powerful, so meaningful.
Just does an amazing job with our children to bring out their own brilliance.
Lets us learn new things, and it's really fun.
I believe that the status quo of education seems to be more on the side of students having too little ownership in their learning, more of the teacher making all the decisions, and I feel like it should be more of a team effort.
So that's where you'll find Senor Davis, right in the middle, alongside his students.
Signed all their names. Felicidades.
It's a gratitude felt in every language.
Davis is obviously a huge advocate for music in schools and says it's unfortunate to hear that some districts are cutting music when he says what the world needs desperately right now is more community, cultural understanding, collaboration, and creativity, which he says music, of course, as a discipline can offer. Still ahead, 2 stories about organ donations, both connected to the Minnesota Vikings. Welcome back. When a Minnesota man unexpectedly lost his life after a brain aneurysm, his family was left to make some difficult decisions. But as Raya Katene reports, with the help of the Viking World Order, this Burnsville family managed to give their loved one a goodbye unlike any other.
Even if you don't believe in miracles,
it was phenomenal.
The Minneapolis miracle years ago had many Minnesotans believing.
We actually spent the Minneapolis miracle in here together.
Sitting in the same room almost a decade later, these lifelong Vikings fans believe miracles are real, but sometimes they're not the ones you wish for.
The thought of him being in pieces was really hard.
If I had any power to uncheck that box, then I would.
Before he unexpectedly passed away from a brain aneurysm in March, 35-year-old Stephen Clarkin had never talked to his family about choosing to be an organ donor. Stephen's partner Courtney, mom Jane, brother Jason, and sister-in-law Jackie were by his side in the hospital until he took his final breath.
We've been praying 2 days for our miracle. It's not going to come. Let's make other miracles happen.
Stephen's organs, including his kidneys and liver, saved the lives of a 66, 55, and 31-year-old, and
a 6-year-old little girl received his heart valves.
A partial heart transplant, an operation so rare only about 70 have been done across the country.
Stephen is a special story to tell.
Jason Villar is with LifeSource, the organization that helped the Clarkins navigate Stephen's decision to save others, including a 6-year-old child.
It's a very new and novel procedure that only a handful of pediatric heart programs across the country are moving forward with.
You know, he was a dad, so he would have wanted that.
Stephen and Courtney's 2 little girls are already Vikings fans just like their dad, a love for the purple and gold Stephen inherited from his own dad, Jeff, who also passed away a couple of years ago.
Stephen's brain aneurysm actually happened on Jeff's birthday this year.
As Stephen was wheeled into the operating room, he received a farewell unlike most.
I lived it and I can't believe it.
Draped in his dad's Vikings hoodie, it was a purple and gold goodbye Stephen's family says he would have wanted.
It's actually a gift.
In this room, Stephen spent so much of his life.
It turned into a Vikings room the day we moved in.
And in some ways, his family says he's still here.
It is truly a miracle.
In other ways, they say it's a miracle. Parts of Stephen will always be in more places than one.
It really changed my view. Actually, I have now checked that box.
It feels like he's a hero to us.
In Burnsville.
And he is.
Raya Katene.
He is a hero.
KARE 11 News.
A hero for sure. Now, even if you don't remember Vikings cornerback Ronyel Whitaker for his plays on the field, he just ensured his legacy will live on long after his death. He saved 4 lives through organ donation. Kent Erdahl spoke to his partner about that incredible gift.
Pro athletes often seem larger than life.
Huge personality.
Ronyel Whitaker was no exception.
He was a character.
Lori Charbonneau first met Ronyel when he played cornerback with the Vikings from 2006 to 2007, and the two reconnected and began dating 4 years ago.
It's a gift that I got to know him and have a relationship with him for so long.
But in February, it came to a sudden end when Ronyel suffered a brain aneurysm.
Unfortunately, it was catastrophic. And he wasn't going to make it.
But before he left, he made one last stop.
There's a major sense of calmness here.
Ronyel was transferred to mHealth Fairview's donor care unit because he had more life to give.
Ultimately, our goal is we want to honor the donor and their families, and that means maximizing the gift.
Erin Shodden is nurse manager for the first freestanding donor care unit in the state.
What does having a dedicated space mean?
I think for us, one of the biggest aspects is what we can offer to families with this. They're not dealing with the hustle and bustle of an ICU.
Neither are the care teams. And thanks to a partnership with LifeSource, Schaden says the results speak for themselves. In the first year, the unit helped 38 donors save 142 lives through organ donation. That translates to more than 4 organs per donor.
The national average is 3.2.
And their success with delicate lung transplants is even more impressive.
We are at 65% lung utilization recovery compared to a national average of 20%. So we're really proud of that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because you can have dedicated teams that can address it?
We feel that that's a big part of it, yes.
Roniel's lungs were among 4 life-saving gifts he ended up making to those in desperate need.
I think about their families and I think about how their health is now, hoping that they're feeling better. He would have been so proud and happy to have helped them. He donated his heart to science as well, so that's pretty amazing.
That could save many more lives.
It could. Just knowing research, it's so important.
And she's beyond grateful it all happened here.
There was a sense of relief that I could visit him here at any time, which I did every day until the end. You know, that was something that I'll always be really happy about.
Lori says she has been so moved by the care that she received that she instantly became an advocate for organ and tissue donation, and she hopes that sharing Roniel's story will help save even more lives. Now, if you're interested in becoming a donor yourself, we do have more information for you at KARE11.com. Well, now to this story. 2 siblings who grew up in the Akron, Ohio area are reunited after life took them in different directions for decades. Here's Lindsay Buckingham.
75-year-old Ralph Slaughter is making up for lost time with his big sister, Becky Gibson.
She changed my diapers.
Growing up side by side in the Akron area.
Taking care of me. Going ice skating on a pond across the street.
But as it often does, life carried them apart.
I went to Kentucky for like 20 years, and I went to Florida for 20 years.
They'd see each other every few years when Ralph came back to visit, but eventually, nearly a decade slipped by without seeing each other at all.
We tried to go see you years back, couldn't find you.
Then this past January, fate paid a visit. Ralph's daughter brought him back to Ohio and moved him here to Roselane Nursing and Rehabilitation in Massillon, a far cry from his sunny Florida lifestyle.
You know, I mean, I didn't want to come, but I'm here.
Little did anyone know.
My niece had called, I guess, my daughter and told them that my sister's right down the hall. And I knew she was in a home, but I didn't know where.
A moment that felt meant to be. These days, Becky doesn't have a lot of words, but some moments don't need them.
We went down there, my grandson took me down there, and there she was. And she knew me. You knew me.
After nearly a decade.
It felt pretty good. Yeah, it did. Inspiring. We've been together every day since.
Because for these siblings, no time that passed could ever shake their bond.
Just sit around and watch the geese outside. Yeah, we do that.
Now, they'll never waste a single moment.
I didn't know I'd ever see her again. And here we ended up here together.
They know more than anyone that life is too short.
Don't wait so long to see your relatives.
They're always closer than you think.
Try to see them whenever you can.
Lindsay Buckingham, 3 News.
That is excellent advice. Still to come here, Cybertrucks and trolls. Welcome back. A 6-year-old in Grand Haven, Michigan has been waiting a long time for one thing. For his birthday, his mother took a chance and asked for help. Riley Mack shows us how the community answered to make his wish come true.
A strip mall parking lot.
Not the first place you'd think to find.
Are you excited to see what the surprise is?
Childlike wonder. Yeah. But wait 10 seconds.
I can't believe we didn't see any Teslas on the way here.
And that's about to change.
Dude, what is that?
In 3, 2, 1.
What is that?
You want to check it out?
For much of his 6-year life,
You can hop in if you want.
Mason Bosma has been obsessed with one thing.
Cybertrucks. Oh, I don't even know when it began. He is just obsessed with them. Everywhere we go, if he sees one on the road, he's shouting out, "Mom, look, a Cybertruck!"
So Mom, Krista, had a thought.
His 7th birthday is this week, and I just thought maybe there's somebody in the community that wouldn't mind taking 10 minutes out of their day to just let him look at it. I just was in shock. I never expected it to blow up like it did.
Then this comment arrived.
Justin was one of the first ones that messaged me back.
Just in time.
My name is Justin Maressa. I saw the post. It was just, a no-brainer.
That's cool.
It's one thing when you see him driving down the road for a kid that's never seen one, been inside, to be able to sit in the driver's seat, grab the steering wheel, see the computer screen.
You can put music on it.
That's what it's about.
Most of the time I see them driving.
Stainless steel.
Not this close up.
Built to reflect the world around it. Today, it reflected something even stronger.
Well, that's what I love about Grand Haven and just our small community. You see a post like that, that's just what the community is about. People stepping up. That's what we need more of.
Kind of restores your faith in humanity a little bit. With all the not great things that are going on right now in our world, to see a community come together to help out strangers and to take time out of their busy day to meet with us and put a smile on my son's face. It's amazing.
Strip mall parking lots and childlike wonder.
Thank you.
Turns out they can go together.
Maybe next time we can go for a ride.
You just need the right vehicle.
Now to an update on a story we brought you last week about a Danish artist building massive trolls around Clinton, Iowa. The project is finally complete, and Jonas Evans reveals those trolls and talks with the artist about his work.
I just thought the tree was so beautiful, and it could be cool that it was laying on that hill.
Here at the Bickelhoft Arboretum, Marvin is one of 3 wooden trolls now permanently residing in Clinton.
I'm trying to build a world where we can see that old things has a value, that old things has a soul.
Danish artist Thomas Dambo has built nearly 200 of these trolls across the world, each out of recycled wood.
We've been using the floor of an old lodge. We've been using like 50 dump truck loads of branches from City Works.
Some of these poses are playing with forces of nature and gravity quite a bit.
Helmut can be found outside the Sawmill Museum.
This is actually a pretty good example. This one is incorporated around a tree, but nothing's actually touching the tree on the inside.
Dambo doesn't typically build his trolls in urban areas like Clinton, but once he actually got to see the city and meet its people, it didn't take a lot more convincing.
I just saw a lot of potential here. I really like the people that I met here.
Residents are also helping out. All 3 statues were built with the help of volunteers.
If you're building furniture, you're just building it to dimensions and slapping it all together. Where this is, you kind of finagle a piece out and make it fit. Different. I've never done anything like this before, so it's cool.
As an artist, have you ever had any hesitation with other people just kind of being part of your product like that?
It's not possible for me to build my sculptures if I don't have all that help. Because I think I've had somewhere between 25 and 30,000 volunteers that have helped me on all these different projects I've made through my career.
Dambo officially announced the trolls at a ceremony on Thursday afternoon. Progress was so quick that they even had time to build a 4th troll. In Clinton, Jonas Evans, WQAD News 8.
It's a big deal for that community. It's the kind of thing people would travel to see and take pictures of, so good for them. Well, that's all for your good news. We do hope this half hour gave you a little bit of joy today. And until we see you again, have an excellent week, friends.